With ups and downs, it's been a wild ride, and it's not over yet. As a new trading opportunity, Bitcoin is slowly going mainstream, and with it comes a lot of crypto craziness. Our top story is banking on Bitcoin. Local businesses are incorporating it into their bottom line.
I was marketing my business and I saw on the internet there was all this stuff about Bitcoin, so I was like, what's that?
Then we're breaking it down bit by bit with a brief lesson in Bitcoin basics.
That is probably the most valuable aspect of Bitcoin and these cryptocurrencies, because there's tremendous uses in a lot of other industries.
Plus, a new beginning for a local DJ spinning a new tune alongside a former cast member from the Jersey Shore. We'll have those stories along with the latest in our Positively Healthy Medical series. I'm Amy Osher, and this is Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. Thanks for joining us. Bitcoin is a form of money that's notable for what it's not. It's not a currency you can hold in your hand, and it's not backed by a government. Those are a few of the reasons some businesses are banking on its success. Butterflies are the bread and butter of Rob Johnson's business. The Butterfly Estates in Fort Myers showcases Florida's native species. How many would you say you have here?
Right now we usually have, in the conservatory, there's about 200 to 300 different butterflies.
As passionate as he is about butterflies.
So this is a female giant swallowtail, and this is her host plant. So she's laying eggs right now.
Rob is also a big fan of Bitcoin.
I was marketing my business and I saw on the internet there was all this stuff about Bitcoin, so I was like, what's that?
He started taking cryptocurrency in 2014.
And lo and behold, about a week later, somebody showed up and said, I'm ready to pay with Bitcoin. So I was pretty excited. It allowed me to tap into a crowd that probably would have never came to my business before.
Since then, he's become an evangelist of sorts, preaching the principles of going digital.
And that will automatically load this wallet by scanning that QR code right in there. So that wallet ID actually came up right there.
Several area businesses are also cashing in, including bookseller Patty Jefferson.
Our thing is small press and independently published books from all over the world.
Patty doesn't accept Bitcoin, but it still figures into her bottom line. She serves as a go-between, taking cash and turning it into Bitcoin. As a seller, she charges less than ATMs, which do the same thing.
A lot of people feel better not only saving that extra money, but also in dealing with a human person.
These days, some of the bookstore's most devoted customers are looking to cut ties with paper.
There's a young couple that comes in, they save about $100 a week that they put towards Bitcoin. There are people who are coming in and buying $3,000 or $4,000 at a time.
The strategy of using Bitcoin to attract business may be bottoming out for Rob. Are you thinking that people, as the markets go up and trading starts, might want to just be holding on to their Bitcoin and not spending it?
Yeah, that's what we hear mostly. Like, even though we do take Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, most people are like, I don't want to spend mine, you know, they want to hold on to it.
Despite all the buzz, Bitcoin is still a bit of a mystery. When you throw in terms like cryptocurrency and blockchain, it adds up to confusion. We figured it was worth it to get a breakdown of the basics. Arnold, at its very fundamental nature, how would you simply describe what Bitcoin is?
Yeah, Bitcoin is two things. It's first a digital currency, and it's a cryptocurrency. So digital currencies are currencies that exist in electronic space. There's no physical aspect to it. There aren't any coins, notes, or bills. It's not something that's backed by a government, group of governments like the Euro, and it's processed on a decentralized basis. It is intended to be a medium of exchange, however, so it should have value and credibility in the marketplace.
Now, I've heard that there is a very limited amount of how much they issued on that, kind of a dollar amount, they've said?
Well, in total, and by the year 2140, there will be 21 million Bitcoin produced. I'm not sure how many there are currently. It's substantially lower than that. But the daily transaction volume in Bitcoin today is somewhere around $1 to $2 billion a day, which sounds like a lot, but when you compare that to, say, the foreign currency market trades over $5 trillion a day.
Now, right now, is it more of an investor opportunity? Because it seems like people aren't really taking it or using it as a currency per se.
Yeah, I think the uses are pretty limited at this point. So rather than investor, I would probably look at it more from the standpoint of a speculator. So there are three ways that you can acquire Bitcoin. One is that you could buy it. The second one, you can accept it as a vendor for goods and services. And the third way is that you could be a miner.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think the mining part of it is kind of confusing, because it's really an interesting scenario.
Yeah, mining is critical to the integrity of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, as I mentioned, is not backed by a government. It's not backed by a group of governments like the Euro. It's a decentralized process. And so if it's to have value that is acknowledged by the market participants, there needs to be fail-safe systems in place to protect the transaction and the value of that currency, and that's where miners come in. So in order to explain what miners do, I have to talk a little bit about how this transactional history is validated.
Mm-hmm.
So every Bitcoin owner will receive what's called a distributed ledger. And that ledger reflects every Bitcoin transaction that has occurred since 2009, when it was first minted. When you do a Bitcoin transaction, you send a message out into internet space, and there are basically computers out there that are listening for these transactions. It's based in cryptography, so these messages are encrypted, and they go through a mathematical process to validate that the account number that is sending the Bitcoin is valid, the account number that is receiving the Bitcoin is valid, the amount, and by account number sending the Bitcoin, that there actually is, like if I say I'm going to send 5 Bitcoin, that I in fact have 5 Bitcoin.
Is this part of the blockchain that you
It
hear
is
about?
the blockchain, and really in my mind, that is probably the most valuable aspect of Bitcoin and these cryptocurrencies, because there's tremendous uses in a lot of other industries.
Mm-hmm.
So they validate the block, that becomes this public record that everyone can see. The miners don't do that for free, because there's a tremendous amount of work for them to solve these mathematical puzzles. Whoever wins this lottery, if you will, they receive 12.5 Bitcoin, and it takes about 10 minutes to solve these puzzles. So 12.5 Bitcoin is awarded every 10 minutes, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. 12.5 Bitcoin every 10 minutes is 1,800 Bitcoin a day, which at current market value is somewhere between $18 to $22 million. So that's the incentive for these miners to
Wow.
do this activity.
Now, I've heard this about solving the puzzles as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the puzzle come from? What kinds of puzzles are they solving?
Yeah, that's a good question. The cryptography that is used for Bitcoin actually is connected to the US government. It comes from the NSA, the National Security Agency, and they use this technology which is called SHA-256 or SHA-256. That stands for Secure Hash Algorithm. And basically, all governments, including the US, we need a mechanism
Sure.
to communicate to armed forces and to embassies, and those messages are out there. So this is a mathematical puzzle where it gets sent out into internet land, if you will, and people are listening for that, and what they are now doing is they're running algorithms and guessing what the
And now it's
answer
the
is.
speed of computers and
Absolutely.
setups.
Yeah, so the computers that are used, they aren't things that you and I could really do, because the computers are highly expensive, very sophisticated, and it's not just one, it's literally thousands of these around the world that are trying to solve this puzzle. And so this technology is one way, meaning that you can solve for the answer, but you can't solve for the input, meaning the account numbers and all these other things. So it's one way. and it's very secure.
Now I'm going to ask you to kind of put on your prognosticator hat for a minute. Where do you think it's going to go?
I think it's going to grow. In terms of value, that's a big question mark to me. You know, it's extremely volatile, which is why I was saying that if you were going to buy it, I think it's really more of a speculator's type of play or a trader's type of play. The technology is very, very robust, and I think as more businesses accept it, it will grow. That will be the requirement. You know, the interest in it right now is because it's risen from price from pennies into the tens of thousands. But it's really going to be a function of merchants accepting it as a form of payment.
All the interest in Bitcoin is fueled in part by the belief you can make money on it. Late last year, financial institutions started trading its futures. Here's a look by the numbers. The idea behind Bitcoin was to establish a virtual currency to enable quick, cheap online payments without using a bank. But its rapid rise in trading has turned into what some are calling a gold rush. Here's why. In 2017, the price of Bitcoin skyrocketed from $800 to nearly $20,000. 2018 hasn't been as kind so far. Its value dropped to nearly half its all-time high. If you bought a unit of Bitcoin just a month ago on January 1st, when it cost around $13,000, you'd now be in the hole $3,000 based on its value of last Tuesday. Is it on a crash course? That's where the speculation comes in. Still ahead, you hear him on the radio. Now you can see a local DJ on TV, showcasing his rap in front of a national audience. Stay with us.
Life here is amazing, and so is the joint care. At the Total Joint Center at Physicians Regional Healthcare System, we've changed the experience of joint replacement for good. With our comprehensive joint care program, most hip and knee replacement patients return home in just 2 days, because we know you want to get on with your active life. Pain-free living starts at Physicians Regional Medical Center, Collier Boulevard, and Physicians Regional Medical Center, Pine Ridge.
Hiring the right moving company is important. Best Moving and Storage is a family-owned and operated business serving Southwest Florida for over 22 years. From our free in-home estimate until the last piece of furniture is in your new place or stored in our climate-controlled warehouse, we treat you like family. Best Moving and Storage is fully licensed and insured, with all of our employees being certified drivers and packers. When it comes to protecting your treasured belongings, choose a company that's experienced and trustworthy. Call Best Moving and Storage today at 239-592-6565.
My name is Steve Unser, and cabinetry is my specialty. I have been creating custom designed cabinetry for 20 years in Southwest Florida. And now I am celebrating the grand opening of our new Naples showroom. Steve Unser Cabinetry will help you design your kitchen, bath, or home office with stunning results, offering the best quality of cabinets with a wide variety of design options and pricing to fit any budget. If your kitchen isn't becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Now, 2 locations to serve you.
Millions of people in this country are living with the effects of rheumatoid arthritis. This painful condition can strike at any age. Here's the latest in this week's Positively Healthy. The term arthritis is used to describe more than 100 conditions relating to joint pain and disease. Of all the forms, one of the most troubling is rheumatoid arthritis, which is progressive in nature.
And that makes it different from osteoarthritis, the most common form of arthritis, which is a gradual deterioration of the articular cartilage. And so they're totally different diseases. Psoriatic arthritis is an inflammatory arthritis that can mimic rheumatoid but can do other things outside of rheumatoid arthritis. So each disease is a little bit different.
Dr. Alan Goodwin specializes in medical management of joint, muscle, and bone problems as part of Physicians Regional Medical Group. Among his patients are people diagnosed with RA. This form of arthritis involves an extreme autoimmune response in which the body attacks its own cells.
This is a disease targeting the synovial membrane, But later there can be there's erosive changes, there can be destruction of the joint, and actually in the end stages of rheumatoid arthritis radiologically, there's ankylosis, there's bony fusion.
The outward result is disfigured joints. Inwardly, patients are dealing with immense pain. With this form of arthritis on the rise, there's also an increase in treatments. New biologic drugs target specific parts of the immune system that fuel inflammation and are considered game changers in diminishing pain and future damage.
We don't see those destructive changes that we used to see because people are being treated earlier and more appropriately. And now we have real wonderful agents in the right patient, and assuming no major difficulties with toxicity, patients can lead a very, very normal life with rheumatoid.
Combating RA's destructive force begins with a timely diagnosis and treatment.
I think anyone who has aches and pains that are going on for a few weeks or longer, without explanation, if there's joint swelling, definitely should consult with a rheumatologist.
DJ M-Dot is the voice of a popular radio show on BJ 103.9. Now he's speaking to a young generation of Americans. The first episode of the new show, Young Americans, brings a dose of Jersey Shore to South Beach. The Combo Lifestyle Talk Show made its debut last Saturday morning on TLC. Jenny J-Wow Farley from the Jersey Shore is the host, and DJ M-Dot is right there beside her. He sat down with Kim Faye Marody from the News Press.
I'll be providing the tunes. I'll be a sidekick to Jenny. A lot of back and forth, some speaking roles, hosting a couple contests, and entertaining, the audience in between segments.
As you can imagine, there was stiff competition for this on-camera role in a national TV show. M-Dot thinks his experience hosting a local radio show and his work as a DJ for Miami Heat games gave him all the experience he needed.
So whether I'm rocking 18,000 in the arena, and I don't get nervous for that, or whether I'm talking to 20,000 at night, don't get nervous for that. And that kind of helped me in this role for television, because it's well, I'm almost doing the same thing. The only difference is I got 3 cameras in my face, but I'm kind of used to that with the Heat, so it's almost basically doing the same stuff. And radio has definitely helped me that and made me more comfortable.
After shooting 3 episodes on South Beach, the show is taping another 3 in LA. You can find out more by going to news-press.com. Now let's turn it over to our newsroom for a quick look at what's happening on the beat.
Thanks, Amy. So this week we're taking a look at the roofing here following Hurricane Irma. There's been a glut of contractors doing it the right way, going through the county, getting permits for all the work. It's about 1,000 more permits are being pulled right now a month than you typically see, and that makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of roofing work that needs to be done. What that's doing is it's driving up prices. It's making wait times a little unbearable for some people, as long as a month to get a contractor in town. And it's driving a kind of an underground of unlicensed contractors who want to do that work too. So find out more about that at naplesnews.com.
Hi, I'm Ashley Collins. I'm a reporter with the Collier Citizen. This past week I got a chance to visit the Naples Therapeutic Riding Center in North Naples to see what new things they're working on. They recently underwent a $4 million expansion project, adding new facility and also new workshops and courses. And when I visited on January 19th, they had about 10 visitors come in, therapists, occupational therapists, language therapists, to learn how to use horses to help their patients dealing with different disorders and disabilities, and really help them on their way to have a normal or close to normal life. For more on this story, visit naplesnews.com.
Hi, I'm Shelby Reynolds. I'm a features reporter at the Naples Daily News. Last week I had the honor of flying in a World War II B-17 bomber with a World War II veteran named Bo Seago from Cape Coral. This is actually the second time that he's flown in the bomber since the war, but this will be the first time he'll be escorted by a Tuskegee Airman from Sarasota. They likely wouldn't have met during the war, but likely their paths would have crossed in the skies over Europe. You can read about this very special reunion in Friday's paper or on naplesnews.com.
I'm Harriet Heighthouse. arts and entertainment writer for the Naples Daily News and naplesnews.com. Remember when you used to find art only in museums? Now it's in banks, concert halls, even repurposed clothing stores. This week, we look in on a few of the galleries and see some art that's unusual anywhere by John Carroll Long. Sunday in the Naples Daily News and naplesnews.com.
If you know columnist Brent Batten, he likes most things old school and isn't shy about speaking his mind. Here's our weekly commentary. Brent?
Thanks, Amy. So, Thrillist.com has rated Florida dead last in its definitive and final rankings of all 50 states. Using criteria including inventions, food, drink, somewhat productive famous people, unique physical beauty, etc., the authors say their list is based on everything. And while some Floridians may object to the placement, I'm in agreement. Why, just the other day I was speaking to my mother-in-law on the phone from her home in Michigan, which incidentally was #1 on the list. It was kind of hard to hear her. I was on the lanai and the kids were splashing around in the pool, making all sorts of racket. Her cell phone connection wasn't too good. I guess the ice storm knocked out some of her cell towers and the power lines. But anyway, I was telling her what a rotten place Florida is to live. For instance, Thrill List says Michigan has more coastline than Florida. And when you think about it, the Michigan coastline is only used 6 months a year. Down here in Florida, you've got people out there on the beach all year long, walking around, making footprints, building sandcastles. That's not good. You know Florida's a terrible place to live because so many people come here to visit. Florida gets roughly 5 times as many tourists as Michigan. Florida is such a mess, people feel they need to come see it for themselves, I guess. Many of those people are so engrossed by the awfulness, they end up buying a home here. Nothing says terrible place to live like a rapidly growing population. Statistics from the IRS show that many of the people moving here are well off. If there's one thing you can say about rich people, they always migrate to the worst places, right? Now maybe the authors at Thrill List are just being tongue-in-cheek with their ranking of Florida as the worst state. But I say let's embrace it. Come to Florida, see how awful it is, and leave plenty of money behind when you leave. Goodness knows we need it. I'm Brent Batten. Be sure to read my columns on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays in the Naples Daily News. Check me out on Facebook, and as always, thanks for watching.
Still ahead on Behind the Headlines, a peek inside some of Naples' most fashionable homes. That story is coming up.
Escape to paradise during Tommy Bahama Month at Bears. Every Tommy Bahama and Lexington Island-inspired design is half off. Shop exclusive Tommy Bahama products available only at Bears. Create the ultimate tropical retreat with our always complimentary interior design service. Live the Tommy Bahama lifestyle now at the lowest prices of the year. You can't buy it for less, guaranteed. In stock, ready for immediate delivery. Tommy Bahama Month at Bears.
The area's only 30 minutes or less ER service pledge means you'll find less waiting for the care you need. And because we're full service hospitals, a lot more care if you need it. Less waiting, faster care. Only at Physicians Regional Healthcare System.
Is your auto insurance keeping pace with your life? Ask for a AAA Triple Check Insurance Review to see if your current policy is still a good fit. An agent will assess changes in your life, like new vehicles or drivers. Make sure you've got the right coverage and all the discounts you deserve. They'll also see how a AAA membership can round out your protection on the road. Plus, provide roadside assistance, discounts, free services, and vacation extras. Ask for your AAA Triple Check today.
Whether you're considering a total makeover or simply want to spruce up your surroundings, have we got some ideas for you? Sue Huff and the Bears design team are here with the latest edition of Inspired Living.
Today I'm with Alan Wren, who's going to tell us about a beautiful new collection called the Tempo Collection, which is maybe an understated, elegant collection that you have new for Bears, right?
Yes, we're very proud. Bears is always very early on in bringing some of the newest collections to market. This is a collection from Carson. which for people that are aware of the Marge Carson line of furniture, which is a beautiful line of furniture. Carson is a little more relaxed, elegant, youthful feel, which was perfect for a lot of our homes here in Florida. So that we are very proud to have this. We're one of the few places in southern Florida that carries this collection.
And it's beautiful.
Isn't it?
Tell us about all the details.
Well, the design of this is made in courtesan oak with a beautiful little inlay around the perimeter of the table. And the center island of this, with its reminiscent of water and pebbles, is a glass inset that when you open and expand the table, there's an expansion to it also.
And then the side piece here?
The sideboard, I just think, is a wonderfully architecturally interesting piece. You know, sideboards can be kind of, just big boxes. And this just has a dynamic, asymmetrical accent to it that just sets it off beautifully.
And there's more to the collection, and we're going to look at that now, right?
Yes.
Tell us what you have for the bedroom.
Well, Carson also brought this beautiful collection. We've got a luxury chenille upholstered bed that has a lot of design options available to it. And they detailed the bedroom with travertine on the nightstands, a beautiful soft close to the drawers, and in some of the accent pieces, these wonderful metal accents that just bring a different texture to the grouping. It just makes it, again, a very relaxed, soft, and I think very elegant room, even though it's still very informal.
And kind of a youthful look to the collection, too.
Yes. I think for whatever age we are, many of our homes, we still want to have a lifestyle that suits. I mean, this is a collection that I think would work from Palm Springs to Palm Beach.
And it's anything that you need and want, you're going to be able to help that client out, right?
Yes, that's one of the things, Bears. We have many collections to look at, this and much more to show. We'd love to have you stop in and come see us.
Thank you so much, Alan.
Thank you.
It's one of the hottest tickets in town. The annual House and Garden Tour, put on by the Naples Garden Club, offers an inside look at some of the most stylish homes in Southwest Florida. The owners of this home on Aqualine Shores are one of 4 opening their doors to ticket holders. The tour always sells out quickly. This year, about 1,000 lucky participants were transported to 4 of Naples' most beautiful waterfront homes. This one was designed in the manner of a 1920s home in New Orleans. It's not just the houses that are spectacular. Each one was chosen for its design, decor, and outdoor space. This event is the largest fundraiser for the club, which has used it to create more than $1 million in scholarships. You can see more by checking out Shelby Reynolds' story at naplesnews.com. Before we leave today, we wanted to wind down with a final tally on last weekend's Winter Wine Fest. The huge charity event set a record, topping $15.1 million this year, most of it coming from the live auction. Bidding under the big tent featured more than 60 luxury lots, full of first-class trips, entertainment, and limited edition cars. All of the proceeds benefit local children's charities in Southwest Florida. That will do it for us this morning. You can always catch up on past episodes by logging on to naplesnews.com. On the left-hand side under Quick Links, select Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. See you back here next week.